Welcome to the Armani Talks podcast. I'm your host, Armani Talks. In this podcast, I'm helping you level up your 5 soft skills: public speaking, storytelling, social dynamics, emotional intelligence, and creativity. 5 soft skills for you to change your life forever and skyrocket your confidence along the way. In today's episode, we're entering the world of social skills, and I'm going to be talking about why shy people are shy. Are you shy? Did you ever wonder why you were shy? I recall when I became shy. It was roughly around when I was 6 years old. I was very talkative in Bangladesh around 5 years old. But by the time that I moved to the US, what happened was every now and then I would get roasted for my English by the other kindergarteners. This made me very self-conscious and it made me second guess myself. You would think that this is a problem that would melt away in kindergarten, but not quite. Instead, this problem carried over to first grade, second grade, third grade. For some reason, I was very talkative. But fourth grade, I was back to being quiet. There was that thought that I would be judged. Okay? And even though I'm capable of explaining something like this nowadays with ease, back then, I didn't know. If I knew that those kids making fun of me my kindergarten year was a root cause of why I was shy, then I would have been able to overcome it much quicker. Because one of the first things we must do as problem solvers is to understand the concept of troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is when we are basically breaking down what is the root cause of the problem. Once we find out the why, it's much easier to tackle the what. So a few of the reasons that people have shyness is one of the reasons that I just brought up with myself. It could be some form of bullying at an early age. And mind you, these kids were not really bullying me like that. It wasn't something that they were bringing up day in and day out while I was a kindergartner. It was just 1 time to 5 times that I can vividly recall. However, a burst of bullying can lead to long-lasting impacts. That's one reason. Another reason can be because you're learning a new language and there's just uncertainty whenever you're speaking the other language. Let's say you're very comfortable with Spanish, but whenever you're speaking English, you notice that there's a strong accent. Every now and then, someone gently brings up, "Hey, I notice an accent. Where's that from?" And for you begin to feel more self-conscious. So for this issue, it could be because you're learning a new language, and let's say in your original language, you're very talkative. Whenever you're speaking Spanish, you are chatty-patty, but whenever you're speaking English, you become shy out of the blue moon. This is what I call situational shyness. Another reason that a person can be shy is because they were raised by a shy household. Depending on which part of the world you're from, in certain parts, speaking up showcases confidence, while in other parts, being quiet showcases confidence. Those quiet folks are seasoned. They understand the concept of humility, and they're not these people that are just yapping for the sake of yapping. So what happens is that they often become shy, not in a way where they're forcing themselves, but instead they just believe that's the correct state to be in by default. Okay? So it could be due to geographic reasons. Another reason that shyness occurs is that it doesn't really occur. You're not shy. Instead, you're quiet. What's the difference? Externally speaking, a shy person and a quiet person look identical. They're both not saying much. But internally speaking, a shy person and a quiet person are vastly different. The shy person is feeling turmoil, while the quiet person is feeling peace. The quiet person is just short with their words. They're very precise with their language, and they don't have much to say, while a shy person wants to say more. However, they just don't have the confidence to speak up. So you want to ask yourself, when I'm not over here speaking up a lot in these interactions, What's my emotional state like? Am I feeling uncomfortable? If I'm feeling uncomfortable, then chances are I'm shy. But if I just feel normal, then I'm quiet. Big difference. And not being able to spot the difference will lead to a lot of clutter in the mind. So these are just a couple of reasons why shyness happens in the first place. And if you think I didn't bring up the reason why you're shy, this is one of the perfect times to take a pause. Rather than just labeling yourself, I'm just a shy guy, you want to instead insert the question, well, why am I shy? And just by asking yourself that question, and by the way, no need to immediately answer it, but just by asking yourself that question, you're starting to change the dialogue. The tone begins to shift. Now you're in an inquisitive mode rather than an acceptance mode. And by understanding why you are shy to begin with, this will eventually lead to the proper action steps to speak up more in future interactions. Shyness is not our default state. It was something learned throughout our life experiences. Let's figure out what it is that caused us to be shy, and conquering it becomes light work. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks podcast, and I'll catch you next time.